Hello, Micke lit the fire. I just want to add that I am very, very grateful. A lot of you signed or subscribed to this little corner of the internet, and thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I see you, and I'm flabbergasted. No, I'm not flabbergasted, but I'm just very, very grateful you subscribed, and thank you so much for being here. And yes, thank you. Just want to say that. I hope you will enjoy this video. This video is about my January knits, and is part of the 12 months knitting challenge that I'm doing, and it's the first month, January. I hope you will enjoy it, and see you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Cold. Oh, it's cold. Should have prepared this before. Hello and welcome again. Cheers. So good. I'm enjoying some coffee with almond milk in this cute little mug. Tasty. Okay, here is cold. I tried to light the fire, but I didn't put enough effort, so the fire is not lit up. Whatever. It's cold, so I'm having my jacket on my lap. I didn't want to film this episode before I finished all the objects that I thought I would finish. So I was kind of knitting a lot yesterday and the day before, and was like, let me finish this object so I can be so good at presenting them and being like, look how many beautiful finished objects I have. But we're not here for perfection. We're here for creativity, enjoyment, mistakes, wild failures, and wild victories. So I have some finished objects, but not as many as I thought. But yeah, we're here for showing up and see what life will throw us at. Something like that. I'll start with the finished objects. It's something that you've already seen, but my camera stopped filming, so I didn't really talk about this object, and it's the first finished object of 2022. This is the Felix Cardigan. I blocked it the other day, but I wore it a lot already. But I washed it finally 3 days ago. And it's a beautiful cardigan. I think it's I haven't knitted, I just knitted another cardigan that I haven't even finished, so this I can consider it my first real finished cardigan. Yeah, and so I really like it. It doesn't have any waist shaping. It's more like a kind of a loose, cozy fitting garment, and I think, yeah, it's beautiful. I knitted it holding double. This yarn, I'll put it on the screen. It's by a brand or a company, a small company, Etsy shop called Yarn Home, and it's a Lithuanian based store. And I really like the pattern has this kind of raglan eye leaves or yarn over increases. She has also the pullover version of the same kind of, has the same design, but is a sweater, is a pullover, so it's not a cardigan with buttons. So this is knitted flat forth and back, and whereas the pullover is knitted in a round, right? But I really wanted to have a cardigan. I have another cardigan in my wardrobe, and it's a very kind of a bit of a statement piece. Has a lot of like acorns, and yeah, it's a beautiful cardigan that I bought secondhand. It's a hand knitted one, but I wanted a cardigan. I think cardigans for me at this stage of my life are a bit better than sweaters, because you can just, you know, keep them open, throw them on, throw them off, and, you know, all of that nice shebang. And I added an I-cord edging like this for the sleeves, because and I didn't decrease the sleeves. They're just knitted, you know, without any decreases. And I love how elegant the I-cord looks on sleeves. So I really wanted to try that on this cardigan, and I think it looks really beautiful. And the nice kind of element that I added on this cardigan that makes it even more precious for me are these beautiful wooden buttons that me and Micke made. We just had some leftover wood from a project that he's doing, that probably will show you soon. And it was this beautiful olive tree wood, and it's my favorite type of wood. Olive trees are just stunning and ever giving, and those are one of my favorite tree in the world. And we got this wood from a neighbor last year. She didn't want it, and she said, I have this huge trunk of olive wood. Do you want it, or shall I just burn it in my stove? And we said, no, please. And so Micke is making a woodworking bench, and we had some, you know, pieces, and I thought, I want to make buttons with them. So we have a lot more, but these ones are the ones for this cardigan. And I love because you can really see the veins. They are very different from one another. And so this cardigan for me, I'm a bit of a mess when I wear my clothes. I don't really take too much care of what I wear, especially when I'm going out and do things and stuff. But I'm trying to be more caring and kind to these pieces, because I want to have them kind of forever, or as long as I can. I was saying as long as I exist, but we'll see with that. So the yarn also, to get gauge, I wanted to hold it double. I had to hold it double, and it's a really nice and really warm piece of garment. It's 100% wool, and I love this piece. It's really probably my favorite knitted piece so far. Yes. So first finish and real big garment finish object of the year in January. the Felix Cardigan by Amy Christophers, and I really like this piece. This cardigan pattern, I would definitely recommend it, even if you are a beginner, because she's really clear and she explains everything you need to do. This type of design on the raglan is a top-down construction, by the way, but this kind of beautiful construction is very easy to get around, to learn. Then you don't even need to look at the pattern once you got to do it a couple of times. And I used about 2 skeins of one type of yarn and 2.5 skeins of the other type that I'll put on the screen, because I hold it double. Otherwise you can just use probably 2 skeins of 100 grams in this, I think is a DK. It asks for a DK yarn, probably, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so first finish object, very happy with it, very, very happy. Yeah, okay. Second finish object, I really wanted to knit something that I could have underneath as an undergarment, and I had this beautiful yarn which is from the same company, Yarn Home. I got a big batch of it, and it's a blend of alpaca and wool, and I knitted the Ripple, is this way, the Ripple Bralette by Jessie Maid. I knitted this pattern, I don't know how many times, probably 5-6 times, and I gifted all of those previous garments that I knitted in this pattern, with this pattern, so I only have this one and another one in linen. So this has this beautiful yarn. It has this kind of rib 3x3 kind of pattern, and it looks very small. It looks like half of me, but then once you wear it, let me just put this down. Once you wear it, it really stretches beautifully, and I've been using it since I cast it off. It took me probably less than 5 days or less than a week, I don't remember, but I didn't really plan it. I was like, I'm just gonna cast it on. I used 3 or 3.25 millimeters needles, so because the weight of the yarn is really lightweight, it's kind of fingering, I think, or even light fingering, I don't know. And so I thought it's gonna take me a long time, with smaller needles, and the gauge is really tight and so on. So I thought, I'm just gonna cast it on and have it. It's kind of a bit of a mindless project, because it's super easy. I would 100% recommend this pattern to anyone who wants to try her patterns. I think she's a really amazing designer. She's so size inclusive. She gives you the option to buy her patterns and pay what you can. Like, she gives you different option, because not everyone can pay the same price, and so she considers that, and I think it's beautiful. It's really kind, and yeah, I really like her designs, and the patterns are so clear. I bought 3 of her patterns, and this one is the one that I knitted the most. The other 2, one I didn't even knitted, but I kind of looked through it, and I want to do it, to knit it, and the other one I did, and it was the kind of ripple top, like it was a t-shirt with the same kind of rib textile fabric. But it's a beautiful pattern, and I've been wearing it every day under my, like as an undergarment, but you can definitely layer it. You can have it on top of a long sleeve, or even in the summer, I believe, because it's, yeah, it depends on the yarn you use, of course. This yarn is fairly warm, but it doesn't itch, you know. It's a really beautiful, beautiful piece, and I was just bringing it with me when I would go out on a long walk. And since it's so mindless type of knitting, you don't have to, you know, look at the pattern to be able to figure out what to do next. So I would just bring this with me, and I finished it. And I added this, so it's basically front and back is kind of similar, basically the same, whereas she gives you just the option of either having like an X. I mean, just look at the pattern, Google ripple bralette. I'm not going to explain all of this because I'm just going to mess it up, but it's a beautiful pattern. And I'll knit, this is what I sign up for. This, when I knit, I want to knit garments that I use all year round. I love big woolen pieces that I can wear in the winters, and I'm gonna continue probably knitting them. But in this stage of my life, I'm so much signing for t-shirt tops that I can just layer and wear all year round. I was talking about it also the other time, the other podcast, about using plant-based fibers that you can use all year round and all of that. That's what I'm signing up for. And okay, I've been talking quite a lot. Okay, then this month I have some WIPs that I work in progress projects that I quickly show you soon. But first I'm gonna finish with the finished objects. So I wanted to knit some mittens because I didn't have them. I have kind of traditional mittens, closed but not fingerless, and I wanted to have fingerless mittens so I can, you know, go out and knit when I walk or in the garden. I can still have my hands warm but still use my fingers. So I knitted without following any pattern. I kind of just, you know, tried as I knitted it, if that makes sense. And these were the first ones that I knitted, and they are in a slightly different yarn, but I'm not gonna over talk about these ones. These are knitted in alla Foslopi, and then I finished that yarn, so I had to find a similar one. You can see that this is more furry than this, but they are more the kind of cozy type, and I don't really care if they're not really exactly the same. Yeah, so I really like them, but they're quite bulky, right? So if I'm knitting something that requires some more precision, if that makes sense, I needed something that is a bit more tight and less hairy, furry, you know, even if it's an amazing fabric. So I knitted another pair that you saw on the second episode in my stash video, but I gifted those to my mom. I see if I have some footage so I can just put it on. Those were really nice, but then my mom saw them and I was like, take them. So my sister gave me for Christmas. She lives in Ireland and she bought some yarn for me for Christmas, and I received it very recently, a bit late, and it's not her fault at all. She brought it to my parents and then I didn't go up for Christmas, so I went up a week ago or something to get the stove, and so I got the yarn, if that is of interest for you. So I got these two beautiful colors that as you can see, I already used them. They are from the brand Studio Donegal. Yeah. And they are in the color Irish. This is Irish Heather. The color is 4669 and it's a beautiful forest green color. And I knitted a pair of mittens for Micke with these ones, so that's another finished object. And then I received this as well from her, and it's 100% merino wool, 2-ply. It's 100 grams per, so it's 190 meters and it's 100 grams ball, and this is the soft Donegal yarn from Studio Donegal, and the color is M364. So I really liked this color, it's one of my favorites. And so I knitted 2 pair of mittens, one for Micke and one for me. You can also see I used a lot for Micke, and these are the ones for me. Still, these are a bit more sleek than these ones that I showed you. Yeah, they're just very simple type of mittens, you know, just basic. If you want, I can find my notes and just send you the pattern for free. I mean, it's a very basic pattern, but you can find a lot of, you know, fingerless mittens patterns, but I think this was very easy. I think I cast on 26 stitches, and then I increased until up to 32, and then yeah, I can write it down and send it to you. Micke, maybe you can show the mittens. Hello. Okay, he's using them. I made them for him because he's coding and it's cold, so he can still code. Colding. But they're beautiful, you see, it's a beautiful color. Yeah. I like them. Thumbs up. You see, even the thumb is coming up. Okay, go. Alright. And yeah, so those are other finished objects. So in total, in January, I knitted 4 pair of mittens. And yeah, those are other finished objects. Then I just finished it, and I knitted a lot of these ones, of this headband type, you know, for keeping your ears warm. I knitted them for Christmas as gifts. I think I knitted, I don't know, probably 5 of these and gifted them, and this is finally for me. And and I used some of the kind of leftover yarn from the Ripple Bralette and other yarns that I had in my stash, in my kind of scrap stash. And I really like this. It's very simple, you know, it has these two colors that are not equally, yeah, it's beautiful. It's cute. It's cute. It's fine. We've done it. Okay, now we go for the WIPS, work in progress projects, and I have quite few WIPS, meaning big projects going on that I thought I would finish this month, but life happened, so I didn't finish them. So the first one is a stunning pattern by Jennifer Steingas, and the pattern is called Golden Fern. Ta-da! She's cute. She's cute. The yarn is beautiful. The pattern is beautiful. What else can I say? This is really nice. This is a garment that I'm really looking forward to have, and it's been a pleasure to knit. These are my floats, if you're interested in them. Yeah, I didn't do so many, you know, color work pieces, so I'm still learning, but I love the color combination that I choose for this sweater. I think the pattern calls for 3 colors, color work, but I choose just 2 because I really like it, and these colors for me remind me of the snow and the oak trees leaves. I can see if I have some footage of them, because I think that combination of brown and whitish grayish, it's beautiful. And I think I'm knitting, so the yarn is the same, sorry, get together. So the yarn that I'm using is the same yarn that I used for the Felix Cardigan. I still have some skeins. This is only, so I used for the light gray part, I'm knitting a size 2, I think. Yes, size 2, and I used 1 skein, and this is what I have left, and I'm currently knitting the 1 sleeve. I just started, so you know, 1 skein, still a lot, pretty good. And then I'm using this yarn, still from the same company, Yarn Home, and this is the kind of chestnut brown, beautiful wool, 100% wool yarn. It's a beautiful pattern. So the sleeves will also have this beautiful flowery color work on the end of the sleeves, and I really like them. I really like this pattern. I wanted it to be a bit more form-fitting, but I think it's really nice like this. And I'm thinking to re-knit the hem. I knitted it this kind of split hem, but I'm thinking to re-knit it. We'll see. What do you think? It's a little bit, you know, I didn't change the needle, I just kept knitting. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's okay. But yeah, this is a mistake. They shouldn't be together. But anyway, beautiful, beautiful construction. I thought I would finish it and show it to you finished, but we're enjoying the process, and it's such a beautiful knit that I'm very happy I'm still knitting on it. So I'm gonna pause and continue very soon. Okay, we're doing it. Cold. Okay. So one WIP work in progress project is on the making, and then I have another one, and this one for sure I would have finished it earlier because I started it, I think, the second week of January, and it's such a quick knit. I know it because I knitted already a short sleeve version anyway. But then I had the problem. I finished the yarn, classic problem. So I had to order a bit more to be able to finish this project. But yeah, so I'm still waiting on the yarn. And it's the Ranunculus. I think most of you, or a lot of people know this pattern is, without any doubt, a beautiful pattern, one size, amazing. You can knit it in different type of yarn and it gives you different feelings. You can knit short sleeve versions, long sleeve, many possibilities. This is my Ranunculus pattern, and it's quite cropped because I was finishing the yarn, so I was like, I'm just crop it, and I knitted it with this split hem, and on the back is a bit longer, on the front is shorter. I did some modification. I'm knitting this one in 4mm circular needles, and look at this beautiful construction, and I just love this pattern. I'm gonna knit so many more in different yarns. I want to knit more like spring and summerish versions of this pattern. But anyway, for this pattern I used Drops Alaska, and it's a quite very affordable yarn. Drops, I love this yarn. I have to say that because I wouldn't be honest if I wouldn't say it. However, I am very skeptical about the ethical aspect of this company, how they source the materials and from where, how these yarns are made and so on. So I don't know the ethical aspect of this company, but I have to say that it's all the yarns that I use from them are just perfect. So I think I'll buy more yarns from them, but maybe plant-based, so my heart gets a bit more in peace when I use them. And yeah, but this is a beautiful pattern, it's a beautiful yarn. Yeah, I have loose stitches because I needed the needles, but this yarn is pretty holding together. But this is where I stopped because I don't have enough yarn, So yeah, this is another WIP project, and I really love this color. I think it's the colorway 66, and it's kind of like a rusty, golden rusty color, and I'm so looking forward to wear it. And I went down a lot in needle size because I knitted it before, and I know that I wanted a more like a little bit more fitted garment, but it's still quite oversized. And I think I did some modification in terms of like waist shaping. I decreased a bit here. But it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. I think I'm gonna enjoy it a lot once I finish it, once I have the yarn. So yes, Drops Alaska, beautiful yarn. Nothing, you know, have to say that. Have to say it. Okay. So we got 2 whips that I showed you. What shall I show you next? This one. My socks. So I love knitted socks, but I don't like knitting socks these days at all. For some reason, it's just frustrating that I have to knit two, you know, equal pieces. So this is taking too long for how easy the pattern is. These are my socks. I'm knitting them in Drops Fable. This is a small pouch that I sewn with a beautiful textile that I got from my mom, kind of a second-hand one. And this is the home for my socks. So this is the progress. I kind of abandoned them. I started them, I think, one day that I was out with a friend, and we were taking a long walk and talking and so on, so I wanted to have something on my hands, and I was like, why not? You know, I need socks. I have just one other pair of warm socks that I knitted last year, but the rest I gifted them, and you know, it's very cold around here, so I wanted a pair of socks, but I didn't want to knit them. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And the more I knit on them, the more I want to knit. So it's strange, I know. This is the yarn. It's a beautiful, still from Drops. I think I showed it to you on the previous episode. It's Drops Fable, the print version, and it has this beautiful kind of colors. Yeah, and then what I did for the heel, so I start to knit first of all from the top down, and then I start to knit the heel, and the heel I hold double this yarn with the same Drops Fable, but not the print version, the kind of monocolor version. I held these two double to create more, you know, fiber, more strength in the heel, and you don't really see so much difference. I think you feel it. It's a lot less thick than the heel, if that makes sense. But I think it's a really clever way to hold a yarn, the same yarn double, so you can create a little bit more structure on the parts of the socks that can, you know, break easier than other parts. And yeah, I'm very happy with this, but I still, you know, I still should work on it. I don't really have much left, and I have started already the cuff of the other sock, but yeah, it's taking me so long, and I'm knitting on them only when I really don't have anything else, like when I want this mindless knitting that I'm not really looking at what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm using 2 millimeters circular needles using the magic loop technique. That's another whip, and I'm squeezing them inside this cute little pouch that I made for socks. Yes, another whip. Okay, is it this the last one? No, I have 3 more whips to show you. This video is getting long, I know. Okay, so this one is actually a whip work in progress project that I started in Portugal, so 2 months ago, and then I kind of let it rest because I really enjoy to knit on it, but this is worked on 3 millimeter needles, and the yarn is really thin. It takes a while, let's say, to knit it. So I would just knit a couple of rows here and there. So it's taking a while, but I don't have any rush to finish this project. So this is the Skagen Tee t-shirt by Design, I believe, and it's a cardigan version. That's the other cardigan that I mentioned, but I haven't finished it, of course, and I'm doing the kind of short sleeve version as she done in the pattern, but I'm using a completely different type of yarn that she's using. It looks tiny, but I tried it and it fits. It's quite, sucking. It's quite fitting. 0 positive is, but I really like it. And I'm using this beautiful yarn. I did this kind of wave detail just for fun. So I'm using 2 yarns. One is the Skagen Tweed Color Winter Grey. I have another skein of this, don't worry. And it's a yarn that I showed you in the stash episode, in a previous episode, and I knitted another t-shirt that I have here with this yarn. And this, I held that yarn double with a silk cone. This is another Ranunculus that I made, that I love this. This is what I'm signing up for, t-shirts. So yeah, and the white details of this pattern, of this project, are knitted with this beautiful Rosa Pomar yarn, Pelugual. Yeah, sorry for the pronunciation. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It's it's beautiful Portuguese yarn, beautiful company, 100% recommended. Fingering weight though, and I'm using this 3 millimeter needles. Yeah, I didn't gauge for this pattern. I just went for it. I'm really heavily modifying a lot of patterns. This is what I do, unfortunately or fortunately. I like to kind of follow a bit and then take my own side road. Not always, but 85% of the time. Yeah, so this is another whip. I'm keeping it squeezed in, which I don't think is really healthy for this project. Squeezed in this nice bag, this nice pouch we got from Micke's brother. He went to Peru and he got a few of these ones, and I love them, so I'm using them. Micke is also using them sometimes. So, and I'm squeezing it inside it. I know it's not really healthy for the project, but okay. Oh, 2 more whips and then we're done. So as I mentioned before, I'm here in this period. I'm really into knitting for spring and summer and using lots of beautiful plant-based fibers. And it was a beautiful sunny day some times ago, a week ago or something. There were these beautiful sunny days. I was out in the sun and I went for a long walk, and I reached one of my favorite yarn stores, local yarn stores. And there aren't many around here, by the way. There are just 2 probably. And this yarn store had this beautiful yarn, which is called Giza by Borgo de Pazzi, which is an Italian company. So I found this beautiful yarn, 100% Egyptian cotton, and I said, I'm just gonna go for it and knit a beautiful t-shirt that I can use every time I want to use it. There it is. I just started it, I'm knitting the yoke now. And this is the Brise by Pia Trans, I believe she's called. Brise. Voila. Now you can't really see the pattern because I'm just, I just kind of start knitting the yoke. And the yarn is just something else. It's beautiful cotton, super soft. Usually cotton for me feels a bit more stiff and not so nice usually, but this one is kind of this twisted yarn. I love it, and it smells also beautifully. I don't know, maybe they put some smell. It smells like jasmine, this flower. Yeah, so happy. And I love this. It's kind of like creamy color. Yes, the pattern is also beautiful. I wanted to knit another ranunculus with this, but I just finished the short sleeve. I was knitting the long sleeve version, and I was like, I need a little bit of a break from this pattern, even if I love it, and I'll knit a ranunculus with this yarn in probably another color. But I found a pattern that I really love. I'm just gonna put a picture here on the screen so you can see it. It's a beautiful yoke construction, very elegant and dreamy in my opinion. And so I was like, this yarn deserves this pattern, and vice versa. Last one is still another spring summery project, but this is what I'm here for. I'm signing up for that, I love that. Plant-based yarn, another cotton-based yarn. This is from Drops. It's called Muscat, 100% cotton, and it has this kind of nice, here you can see it in the camera very well. It has this nice shininess to it. Signing up for that. Today I'm using this, signing up for this, signing up for that, but it's true. I love this. This shininess in this yarn, I think, gives this kind of a bit more elegant feeling to the fabric. And I'm knitting, it's just the yoke, so I'm really, at the yoke so just the beginning of the project. And I'm knitting the Anker summer shirt by Petite Knit. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Beautiful pattern, nice yarn. Yes, cute. I have another color of this yarn, the pearl cream whitish color, and that's also very fancy looking in the, it has this shininess. So I'm gonna knit probably the Ranunculus or something similar, like another top with this beautiful yarn. But this is the other summery project that I'm totally here for. Yes, so this is the January episode.
We need to start a fire in
this is another finish object that I finished in January. Show it to me. Oh, cute. Very cute, but you're a bit... No, you have to put yourself there. Put yourself there. Cute. This stripy, crazy sweater. Let me go closer. This yarn that I used, all of the colors, most of them I think, are from Borgo de Pazzi.
And I decided a lot of the colors. I was like, we need more colors. And we have a lot of colors here now.
Yes.
Changing.
It's a nice colorful jumper.
It is. I like it. Thank you.
And also with the mittens. Yeah, so this is another finished object. I can't believe it that I finished it in, I think, the 2nd or 3rd of January.
These ones were made basically in a day of autistic knitting from Martina's, like all day.
But okay, so
and they fit perfectly. No pattern, just on the fly. That was the most crazy thing. On the fly.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining me and us. And I hope you got some inspiration from this messy episode. And see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. And goodbye. Have a beautiful beginning of a new month, fresh and joyful. Bye.